welcome back to the channel. So today I've got the 2023 M2. This one is in Zandvoort. Hopefully I said that right, probably did not. Blue. This is named after a race circuit in the Netherlands. The Zandvoort circuit, which hosts some F1 races as well as other things. This was a customer ordered car, and they, of course, circumstances changed and they did not pick up the car. So now I got an in-depth look at the Zandvoort Blue M2, a very interesting and dynamic color. It's non-metallic, and it's really a dynamic color. So in different lighting conditions, different shades of blue come out. Now, judging by the image on the video and my eye, right now the Zandvoort Blue appears a little bit more darker on film. So this M2 in particular is a 6-speed manual transmission with manual options. It's basically got two options. It's got the lighting package, which means you got the full LED headlights, as well as the carbon fiber trim. Is our head-on M2 look. Now to me, again, apologies if it is a little bit breezy out here, so hopefully the new microphone setup is working a little bit better than previous ones. We're just testing this one out. So our M2 badging and the grille, horizontal grills now for the M models, and lots of intakes. Now if you get the active cruise control, your sensor goes here. Basically has it protected against, you see it's the oil cooler right there. And of course, you got the radiators. It looks like there's no sort of mesh to protect you against debris there. Basically right in there, you basically touch it. We'll back up, walk around our Zandvoort Blue M2. Over on the side, we have the style 930 wheels, 19-inch in the front, 20-inch in the rear. And we won a tire lottery here with the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. Now you'll note the Hayam model that we received in Brooklyn Gray, it had the 1500cc BMW M emblems. This one does not. Those are no longer available from factory. You can get it from your parts counter or places like I&D Distribution. We've got the blue M compound brake calipers, but I would have chosen red. I think the red would have really popped against the Zandvoort Blue, but you know, not much choice, and blue works, I think that's okay on here, just basically a different shade of blue. And we'll pause here. Now again, camera is making this appear a little bit darker than what my eye is seeing, but basically a very dynamic color. So I saw this, not this particular one, but this color at the Performance Center back in January. They had a couple pre-production models there with carbon packs, basically the carbon fiber seats, roof, the driver's package, essentially what it is, and manual transmissions. They looked really good. I could not convince the marketing team to allow me to photograph them in different places, so it's basically staged where it was parked. That's where I had the photographs. So I waited in different lighting conditions to see how it looked, and is a very dynamic looking color. So out back, we've got the verticalness of the reflectors there, giving it a very interesting presence in the back. Chrome exhaust tips, M2 badging also in chrome. And we've got a little van coming by momentarily. But very interesting, very wide. See how dramatic the hips are from this angle. So it's very boxy as well. From the side, I'd say these boxed flares look reminiscent of the E30 M3. But I think a fantastic looking car. Again, your opinions may vary, of course, from mine. And our side profile out of the sunlight, again, appearing a little bit darker shade than what I'm seeing with my eye. And up front, I'd say the grille and the surrounds for the fascia, excluding the headlights, were basically 2002 or I think early E21 3 Series. But to me, the front end evokes the E36 M3. Sort of a boxy look to the front. There are mirror caps in body color, as also the rear spoiler as well. So is this one fistable? Not quite. Matt Watson would be very disappointed in the fistability of those side mirrors. Then our door handles flush against the body, evoking E36. It's also the E38. Of course, the regular 2 Series and 4 Series now. Basically every other BMW coming out will have those flush door handles eventually. So opening up, we have the black Vernasca leather with contrast stitching. So the blue stitching can also get cognac, or you can opt for the carbon buckets, but they're not a separate option. Unfortunately, you will have to go with a package which gets you the roof, as well as the seats, and the M drivers package bundled together. Contrast blue stitching there. I think obviously not quite a match the exterior color, but a pretty decent attempt at it, evoking memories of the original M2 Long Beach blue, and the blue stitching in that one. All right, so inside, let me go ahead and change the setup here. So you've got our iDrive 8, and it is customized by BMW M. And what you can see is basically sort of like the stripes before the M. That's what it's evoking in the instrument panel, as well as the curved display. So the tiles are angled just like the stripes before the M emblem. Our M steering wheel, the red M1, M2 buttons, as well as the nice stitching here. And the other option customer had out was the carbon fiber interior trim. Then, of course, our 6-speed manual transmission, the star of the show. You can see, going through these things here, how it looks. A very nice setup here. And, of course, the Easter egg is the M1 for your tire pressure monitor system. But I really like what M has done with this, the adaptive content here. Vehicle status as well. That's how you get to it. This will show you, in this case, we have the M mode Sport, so it shows you horsepower and torque. Let me go and change to road. We'll hit back. And this is what it looks like. So you get basically what your car looks like on the live thing. Although, obviously the caliper colors are incorrect. You think that would have been programmed correctly, but what do you know? Move it back to Sport. You also have track. You do have the 10-stage traction control. If you go to setup, you'll see that M traction control. You will have to put this in MDM mode at least, or DSC off. We go. Let's see if we can do this here. Go back to setup. Nope, you have to go full DSC off. So instead of a press of the button, you have to go into the menu there. And you set up your traction control. Of course, you do have the gear shift assistant. Now, prior to this chassis, in the F82, F80, F87, you had to turn off all the names or turn off the gear shift system. So that's a pretty good adjustment with the new chassis. Turn back to DSC on. All right, so let's talk about pricing. So starting price of the M2 Coupe is $62,200. The paint is included because it is non-metallic, as well as the leather with the contrast stitching. So the lighting package is another $650, and then $800 for the carbon fiber interior trim. All these other things are standard on the vehicle, so it's a pretty decent deal. So all told, MSRP for this vehicle is $64,645. Of course, you can go quite nuts and get this above 70, probably approaching $75,000, depending on options, without going into the M Performance Parts catalog as well. And then $800 for the carbon fiber trim. Not bad. You do not get the shift pedals here in the manual transmission, of course, but I think it's going to be the same price whether or not you get the manual or not. So really there should be a discount on the interior trim, the carbon fiber one, if you opt for the manual transmission. So we'll get into the back seat over here. So here's the view from the back seat. Do not have the moonroof shade open. Let me just go ahead and do that. And that's what it looks like from the back seat with that moonroof shade open. Of course, you do have another climate zone control back here and 2 seats in the back. But basically, knee room, leg room, it's okay. But the big issue is going to be headroom. So this is me fully upright, but I have to tilt my head, obviously, which is not a good feeling. So not entirely practical for tall-ish passengers. Let's see, we'll go all the way up. Then we got the M stripe on the seat belts as well, also with the rear passenger. So thankfully that's changed. So my F80 has these up front, but not for the rear passengers. That's good that the NW's changed that. All right, so there is no kick to open in the back. So trunk room, I mean, it's a decent size. The seats do fold down. You see the pull levers there. But no space underneath the floor. No powered trunk either. Make our way to the front. Talk about the engine. We'll pause here. Again, color looks a little bit darker than my eyes are showing me. Alright, so underneath the hood is the S58. Now it is detuned from the M3, M4, so it's 453 horsepower, so basically down 20 horsepower. And for the manual transmission, same amount of torque, so 406 pound-feet of torque, or 406 torques, as everyone should be saying. Alright, we'll pause over here. But I think a pretty impressive car. I did drive it at highway speeds. It has a lot of pickup. It's, to me, feels more comfortable than the OG M2. My wife does have an OG M2, and it was stiff like you wouldn't believe. This one is a little bit more comfortable, but still on the stiff side. So the improvement obviously has adaptive M suspension, just like the M2 CS did. But that's it for another tour around another M2. And hopefully we'll have more colors coming soon. But not bad, the Zandvoort Blue. We'll see you at the next video.